By 2016, 1.5 million computer and information-related jobs are expected to be added to the U.S. workforce. But with only half that number of candidates graduating from U.S. universities with computer science bachelor's degrees, our country faces a growing shortage of qualified IT professionals. Enrollment in computer science and IT baccalaureate programs are at an all-time low, even as well-paying, fulfilling job opportunities in the field are steadily increasing.
I actually love talking about the myth that there are no technology jobs and they're all going offshore. I think that there is no larger growth industry. In fact, we have a huge crisis because we don't have enough people going into technology.
Many in higher education are recognizing the vast opportunities for graduates in these CSIT jobs, with high salary, growth, flexibility, creativity, and low stress. And they're seeing the growing gap.
The demand for us is always constant from the business community to continue to get students that are well trained and well versed in computer information systems, IT fields, computer science fields, engineering.
Other countries are poised to pass us in the number of graduates that we put out for fields such as information technologies, computer science, engineering.
Those kinds of students are always going to be in demand and are always the high need positions.
Although we are a leader in these types of fields, that we aren't doing as much as we can and should to increase the number of underrepresented populations in these fields.
The jobs are going to be there over the next 10, 20 years, but the number of students to fill those jobs at current rates isn't there.
One way to fill this gap with qualified students is by creating a pipeline between 2- and 4-year schools. That's why the National Center for Women and Information Technology and the Colorado Coalition for Gender and Information Technology created Pipeline in a Box.
Pipeline in a Box outlines 5 steps for transforming the lives of community college students and diversifying computer science and IT education and work.
This comprehensive kit helps you motivate students from the talented pool of women and underrepresented minorities who attend community colleges and facilitate their transfer to 4-year degree programs. The toolkit includes everything you need to make it happen. The first step is to make the case to students and colleagues at other institutions. You start by addressing the many myths students, administrators, and faculty have about computer science and information technology.
I think there is this real misconception that people are sitting by themselves in a dark cube creating things. And I think I'd love for everyone who thinks that, I would love to bring them into our office, because it couldn't be more the opposite of that.
Working in IT and computer science doesn't have to be like Dilbert sitting in a cubicle.
I spend a third of my time, maybe even a quarter of my time in front of the computer, and the rest of the time talking, to people and getting ideas.
We really are a very close-knit group here. No single person effort here.
The notion of someone sitting down and typing at a computer is really outdated, and I would say most computer scientists today don't do that. We just don't do that.
Here's this thing that's really interesting about females. They work really well in teams, right? Great products are built by teams, and women shine in teams.
I never felt that if I was a man, I would be able to do it much better.
A wide variety of creative endeavors now involve computer science and IT. Virtually all animation, movies, video, music.
I get to create things. I get to make things that help people do their jobs better, can help the world.
The wonderful thing about something like computer science, and this applies to anyone who wants to study it, is it's everywhere. It's infused in everything that we do.
A lot of those jobs exist, that are fun and exciting and well-paying jobs that people really love and enjoy, and they don't know anything about them. And so connecting with maybe an organization like Pipeline in a Box, or with your academic advisor, or with a high school counselor, someone to really do some research as far as what are the jobs out there.
Computer science, as I mentioned before, is becoming very diverse. So to be able to power this industry that's going to happen, you need people who are capable of thinking in different ways.
Products are created by teams, right? So products are only as rich as that team.
By building this really diverse and inclusive workforce, we're really able to understand and meet the needs of our over 597 million users.
When you think about, all of these ideas of groupthink and having too many like minds in a group, that's what diversity brings, is it brings that whole idea of what if.
Multicultural, multi-gender, multi-interaction, multi-field of study. People from everywhere can contribute to computer science.
Pipeline in a Box also includes compelling data and profiles, so you have everything you need to respond to questions right at your fingertips. Increasing the pipeline of students transferring from community college to four-year academic programs is a big job. You can't do it alone, so the second step is to build your team.
The goal with this step is to build a cross-institutional pipeline. For lots of people, this seems to be the most difficult part, but once that goal is achieved, the project usually takes on a momentum of its own.
What I would say to that advisor, number one, is create a partnership with a four-year college, whichever four-year college they're close to.
What Pipeline in a Box does is provides a roadmap and some materials, not just to help find those partners, but to really forge a good relationship with them.
The third step to increasing the number of community college students who transfer to four-year universities is to recruit them. Community college students are traditionally a diverse population, and many at four-year universities have recognized that these students are often highly motivated.
What we've noticed actually in the College of Engineering was that community college students end up actually doing extremely well when they transfer.
One of the things I notice is their enthusiasm, right? So they come here, they want to be in the classroom, they want to do the work.
CS and IT programs at your community college are a great place to start your recruiting effort, but technology has changed so quickly that today tremendous crossover exists between computer science, IT, and fields such as criminal justice, healthcare, business, or the arts.
As a computer scientist, it's like there's nothing you can't do. Is it healthcare? Is it building planes? Is it grocery related things? Is it fashion? Are you making cars? Are you teaching? Whatever it is, there's a space in computer science.
And so all of these other fields are beginning to realize that computer science is a part of them.
Pipeline in a Box helps you reach out to students who are studying or showing interest in all of these fields.
The degree of just engineering or an IT degree just opens up doors. You can become a lawyer. You don't even have to use the degree, but you have that background, you have that problem-solving skills, and so with that you can go to anything you want.
There's so many overlaps now between computer science, anthropology, sociology, communication, all of these other things, and we actually need people that don't just understand one and talk to the people that understand this. We need people that understand both things.
Pipeline in a Box includes posters, flyers, action guides, and press materials to help you make connections, get the word out, and implement an effective recruiting effort to bring in students across a wide array of fields. Okay, you've made the case, built a team, and begun getting students on board. Step 4 is articulating clear, workable pathways for two-year students to transfer their credits and make the most of their hard work.
In the engineering college, we have very strong, very precise articulation agreements that lay out, if you take this course at this community college and then you decide to transfer here, here's exactly the equivalent course that it'll apply for.
We always encourage students to check with a four-year school after they meet with us, as far as making sure the classes they take are the classes that the four-year school wants them to have.
As you might guess, having credits that don't transfer can be a very discouraging experience for students.
If you come in and just have the individual classes, sometimes they don't all transfer over, especially if you don't talk to someone as you're going along.
My biggest advice to a student that's thinking about doing that would be to talk to somebody here on campus.
Pipeline in a Box encourages advisors on both sides of the pipeline to really understand articulation agreements that may be in place in your area. Pipeline in a Box offers guidelines for evaluating or creating good articulation agreements that make clear how credits transfer over and whether they'll be counted toward a specific degree. The final step in the pipeline process is to retain and graduate two-year students who've transferred into four-year degree programs. This step primarily falls under the purview of the four-year institution. However, as we've discussed throughout the pipeline process, a strong partnership will increase the rate of success. One of the most critical aspects to help with retention and to increase completion rates is to understand that community college students, including underrepresented minorities, have some unique needs that should be accommodated whenever possible.
I think it's also incumbent upon the four-year institutions to make sure that the students are welcomed when they transfer into the four-year programs and understand that they may be used to a different culture that might be a little bit less competitive and a little bit more collaborative.
Community college CS courses may also involve more applied work, while university courses may address more theory.
I think one of the other misconceptions is just that the coursework is not as rigorous, and the coursework has to be the same. The same textbooks, the same material has to be covered, otherwise it wouldn't be transferable. We wouldn't have state agreements to have transferable coursework.
And the fact that the class sizes are typically smaller, they get so much more individual attention, which I think is critical in the early years of your education.
We get a lot of students who come here to take Calculus 1, 2, or 3 because they might just need a little bit extra attention. They can be in a class of 20 versus a much larger class at the university.
Many institutions have found that computer science bridge programs can be highly effective in helping community college students adjust to these differences and be successful.
Bridge programs vary in length. They can be as short as a week or as long as 10 weeks, getting them comfortable with meeting faculty members and understanding what the resources are on campus.
Pipeline in a Box supports you in making sure the programs and resources are in place for these students, with promising practices such as overcoming stereotypes, designing inclusive pedagogy, creating effective mentoring programs, and many others. Pipeline in a Box is a turnkey solution. It's practical, self-contained, and designed for quick and strategic action. Users simply download resources from the NC WIT website and follow a program guide in order to unpack a box and customize it for local use. Pipeline in a Box is a win for community colleges, for universities, for students, and for the computer science and information technology field as a whole.
We can always access what's new, what's exciting in the field, what are the trends, who are we looking for. I think it's great to have it all in one place.